I'm going to remake this fall sign with some of this scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and a few of these rusty snowmen that I got from a thrift store. I'm going to start by taping down that hanger on the back so it's not in my way, and then I'm going to use this heat gun to heat up the glue so I can pull off that ribbon and then just get all that extra glue out of the way. And then I'm going to pop off that pumpkin on the front because I don't need that either, and use my mini sander to smooth out that surface. Now I'm going to trace and cut the shape out of the paper, and you can use any sign that has a similar shape. And then the last step before I apply that paper is to paint the sides and edges with some truffle color chalk paint to hide anything that would be peeking through. Then I'm going to add on some Mod Podge and put that paper on, pressing firmly, making sure the edges are nice and secure. Then I'm going to use my mini sander to go around and shape up the edges, as well as just stressing that paper just a little on the edge. And you can find this little mini sander in my Amazon shop. Then I'm going to use some of this Tim Holtz Distress ink in the color Walnut Stain to go around the edges, giving a little extra attention to the corners. I'm not going to put a lot of distressing on this, but just a little to define those edges. And now I'm using some E6000 along with some hot glue to start stacking my snowmen up. I'm just kind of putting them topsy-turvy on top of each other, kind of like they're holding each other up. And now I'm going through, cutting the extra off of those arms and positioning them where they need to be. And it didn't really work out to glue them on, so I'm just going to kind of position them as best I can. This is the material that I chose for my bow, so I'm going to get out my Vodabra, fold my string in half, and then start layering those pieces in. These are about 6-inch strips, and I'm just layering them in X's, alternating colors and using the same pattern each time. And I'm going to do about 3 layers of those so that it's nice and full. And you can use less if you want a flatter bow. I've just found that this is what I prefer and what works for me. Once I get all my layers in, I can take those ends, run them through the loop that I made, and cinch it up tight. I'm going to bring my loose ends around to the back and tie it in a knot and cut the extra off. And now I can separate out all the pieces and kind of fluff it up a little. And you can also trim the ends here too if you need to. And now it's ready to attach. I'm going to use a little dot of hot glue to secure it where I want it, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a few staples. I'm going to use these mini pine cones for the center, so I'm just going to glue a few right there in the middle. And then that top snowman, you can kind of see where I had his arms folded down out of the way. Now I'm going to pick them back up and position them so it looks like he's holding that little pine cone. And to finish it off, I decided to use some leftover pieces of those ribbon strips to give the snowman little scarves. I'm going to use 3 different colors of the material that I used. And that just kind of helps to bring the colors in that bow down through the piece and give it a little bit of balance. I tend to like things really balanced and symmetrical. Maybe that's not your style, but that's kind of what my eyes like to see. And here's my finished piece. I just think it looks kind of rustic and whimsical. After filming, I decided to add a little tag to that blank space. I stamped the word family on a piece of drop cloth, layered it on some burlap, and glued it on. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a bit today, and I hope it inspired you to get a little crafty. Have a blessed day.